Hey guys, I appreciate you watching this video. Before I say anything about any football for this week, I just want to make mention my Broncos win on Sunday. Very epic comeback in the fourth quarter. They put up, I think, 33 points. And it was just phenomenal. They never should have been down by that many points in the first place. But what a comeback for the win. I also wanted to make mention that I did not play Jahmyr Gibbs on Monday night. And oh my goodness, guys, that was frustrating. I was trying to figure out a lineup where I could play him and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I just decided to fade one of them, and he was the one I chose to fade. That was a huge mistake, but they both did very well. And Nico Collins didn't. He would have been the guy to fade there. With that said, I would have come in a winning bracket had I played my original lineup, because I was going to play both of them and play Brock Wright as my cheap option, who did end up getting some passes, which I believe were the first catches he's had in a game that he did not score a touchdown in this year. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this week. I'm going to try to make this one quick for you, but there's not a lot of good matchups in this game. As you can see, Justin Jefferson's averaging 16.5 fantasy points a game. The Chargers are 8th against the wide receiver. They are 8th against the pass. And it's not a good matchup, but I think you're probably going to want to play him this week just because of the matchups that we do have. Just make mention of this right now. J.J. McCarthy is going to be he's going to be the emergency third down back, it looks like, for this game. So Carson Wentz is still the guy here who's been playing well, averaging 18.1 fantasy points a game. The Chargers are 12th against the quarterback, 8th against the pass. So I think he could do well. And then to go back here to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert playing good football this year, 21.6 fantasy points on average. But the Vikings are 5th against the quarterback, 7th against the pass. The best matchup that I see in this game, guys, is going to be Jordan Mason. But he's only averaging 12.7 fantasy points a game. So the Chargers are 25th against the against the running back. They are 19th against the rush. So on paper, he has the best matchup. He just doesn't average much fantasy points per game. So I think he'd be a good captain option this week. I hope that he can get his numbers up to match the actual matchup on paper. I'm just not certain he's going to do that. I'm just going to say I don't like any of these matchups, so I'll just start going through these pretty quickly. We got Quentin Johnston here. He's averaged 16.4 fantasy points a game. I think I like him better than Ladd McConkey. He's just been getting more points, guys. More fantasy points. Let's see. So we've got the Vikings are 5th against the wide receiver, 7th against the pass. So that's the matchup there. And you can see even Keenan Allen is averaging 16.4 fantasy points a game versus Ladd McConkey's 12.9. So I think I like Johnston the best personally, but him and Allen are tied as far as fantasy points. So you could go either way there. Then you have Jordan Addison. I think he's a great play. I told you last week he'd be a good play. And he put up 24.8 fantasy points, and he was a very cheap option. He's averaging 19.4 a game, and the Chargers are 8th against that wide receiver, 8th against the pass. I think he would be good to play. Then you got Vidal here. Vidal. He did good in week 6. In week 7, he didn't do as good, but those running backs had the best matchups on paper this week. That's all I can say about that. But I don't expect him to produce a ton of fantasy points in this game. But I wouldn't blame you if you play both of them because there's just not a lot of options that I like in this game, guys. You do have Will Ricard, who had 18 points in week 7. That's crazy from a kicker. The Chargers are 19th against the kicker, so I think he's at play here. I don't love Hawkinson in this game. I don't, but sometimes in these primetime games, tight ends will kind of take over the games, but I don't know that I see that happening this week. Chargers are 7th against the tight end, and he's only averaging 8.4 fantasy points a game. I don't love it. The Chargers defense has a great matchup, but they haven't done much as a defense this year, guys. With that said, the Vikings are 29th against the defense. Yeah, and then you have the Vikings defense, who's had one good game in week 3. They put up 30 points against Cincinnati, and every other week they've been not very good. That still gives them an average of 8.3 because of that one huge game. But the Chargers are 18th against the defense. I'm not playing. No, I'm not going to play that this week. It's just not happening. Still can't believe how cheap Adam Thielen is, guys. It's crazy to me that they're not using him. I don't know if injuries or age plays into effect here, but I just don't fully understand that with how good he was playing a year or two ago. Then you got like Will Dissly. Not a whole lot happening there. Vikings are 12th against the tight end, but I don't think I want to play the tight ends for the Chargers or really for either team in this game. So with that said, we are going to have to play somebody. So I don't like any of these matchups really. So the guys that I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to do Jordan Mason as my captain. And I'm just going to try to fit every player in there that I think is going to get a lot of points or get the most points. I don't know that I think they're going to get a lot. So I'm going to go both quarterbacks if I can. And Justin Jefferson probably. I don't know, guys. Because that doesn't leave me with any of these other wide receivers for the Chargers. Tell you what I might actually do. I might put Jordan Mason down here. I might see if I can play Ricard. And I've done this before and come in a winning bracket, guys. But doesn't look like that's going to work out anyway. I was going to try to put him up there and then try to get one of these Chargers receivers. That just does not leave enough salary on the table. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of one of these quarterbacks. And just, watching what other people have been saying about this, I believe that they're thinking that Justin Herbert is going to do better in this game. I'm not so certain about that. I trying to figure out who I like better here, guys. 5th against the quarterback, 7th against the pass versus 12th against the quarterback, 8th against the pass. It is a home game for the Chargers. Man, I don't want to not play one of these guys, but that's just what's going to happen. So I'm going to put Jordan Mason back up there in that top spot. Then I'm going to play Johnston instead of Carson Wentz, just to have that receiver in there. And then that honestly makes me not super thrilled because it makes me want to play Addison. Guys, dare I do a slate without a quarterback? A showdown without a quarterback? Let's just see what that would look like really quick. If we went with no quarterback and went with like Addison, Justin Jefferson, and like Keenan Allen, what that would give you. That would leave you with 2,100 remaining, which would be enough for like an Adam Thielen, who I think is good enough to pop off, but do I see that happening? No, not necessarily. That would give you basically a tight end or Adam Thielen. That's crazy. Adam, what is he? The fourth or fifth string receiver? Is he even? Yeah, he's listed as 4 on here, which is crazy to me. They got some good receivers in Minnesota, though. Just to double check, did I even look at the kicker? I didn't look at Dicker, Cameron Dicker. I don't think I looked at him yet. Don't like the matchup here. Just, I don't know. Well, he's gotten a lot of fantasy points in some games. Sometimes going double kicker is not all that bad. But you know what? Let's do this. Let's take out Allen. Let's put in Ricard, because I think I like him better there anyways. That would leave you with 4,900. That means you could play a Hawkinson. You could play the Chargers defense, or so on or so forth. But, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. But these are the players that I like the most, I believe. I do like both quarterbacks because I don't like any of the matchups. There's no matchup on here that I'm thrilled about, except for Jordan Mason's and maybe Ricard's. But Jordan Mason just hasn't averaged a lot per game. Maybe I'd switch around Ricard here and make him the captain again and see what that would leave us. Let's do that real quick. Let's go ahead. Let's put Ricard in as the captain again. And then we'll scroll back up and we'll go ahead. We'll play Keenan Allen there. Who would that leave us with? That'd leave us with Vidal, Corey Dicker, Hawkinson, any of those people. Maybe you just play Vidal there. Do you play Vidal there, guys? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really going to have to think this one over. I believe these are the players I like the most. Except no, it's not, because I don't have Jordan Mason in here now. Did I have him in there? No, I don't. Where is he? I don't even. There he is. Okay. Yeah, so no, don't like that one. We'll have to. Oh, guys, this one's kind of frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I think there you almost have to go with the Chargers defense, which I don't love doing. That would leave more on the top, so I could go ahead and probably play Mason as the captain and then play Ricard. That would leave you with 500. My lineup might go something like this, but I might just end up playing a quarterback. Might even play quarterback over Justin Jefferson. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think it's going to be similar to this. I really want to get Mason as my captain. But I appreciate you guys watching. I don't feel like I've helped you at all in this video, but at least you can listen to me think about how I'm making my lineup. So, hey, if you want to subscribe, guys, I really would appreciate it. Trying to get my subscriptions up there, and they say that it actually makes a huge difference if you mention it. I normally don't mention it. I wanted to be the guy that got subscribers without mentioning. But apparently it just seems like that's extremely hard. But regardless, I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a good night and a good fantasy game. Thanks, guys.